Greetings and welcome to the Modern Alchemist channel. I'm Aubrey Forrest, the Modern Alchemist, and this is Elements of the Saturn Key. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Ancestry and the Esoteric. Specifically, those of you who know me from this channel, and those of you who've had classes from me, understand that when I speak of Ancestry, I'm speaking in terms of a spiritual inheritance. I am looking at it from the standpoint of a human ancestry, we being of a human race, of one people. And I think the reason my attitude is this way is largely a component of how I was raised. I was raised to see myself as a citizen of the planet Earth, of all of this. And I traveled regularly between two continents throughout my childhood. And so that gave me a sense of expansiveness, and I understood that while we may speak different languages, and while we may eat different things, or pray on different days, or times of the week, we are still all a human race, regardless of whatever superficial stuff you want to talk about. And taking it then to the next level, beyond just what we're seeing today emerge, right, as humanity, as all of us being human beings. In addition to that, take into account the idea that, from my standpoint, as an alchemist, I see a testimonial of the process of reincarnation regularly around me. Whether that is a physical process where the materia that once did one thing is now doing another, right? And supplying nutrients for something else, the whole Simba and the cycle of life. And realizing that everything that we see in the physical world is a mirror of that which is etheric, spiritual, of the unseen world, then it goes to follow that a logical extension is, albeit unprovable, is that we too reincarnate. And so from my perspective and my standpoint, it's a bit short-sighted to assume that my every single last incarnation is going to be a white person. And similarly, it seems like it would really put you in a box if it was any other thing too, and including gender, right? So, for me, it's been a mixed bag. I'm certain of it. I have a very great sense of it, which is largely perhaps a component of why I have such a deep and abiding love and appreciation for the accomplishments that has been left behind for the rest of us. Because truly, we are the beneficiaries in totality of all that wisdom. And we have never, as of yet, ever reproduced anything even close to that. Nothing. Nothing. You don't see it happening today. Not a bit of it. And so that leaves us in a position of recognizing that in a very real way, we are the feet of clay, as spoken of by Daniel to Nebuchadnezzar in his vision of the dream. We are the lesser sons of greater sires. And yet, there is a strength that comes from the disillusion of that previous sense of racial purity. And that is that we recognize that this world, under this star, functions differently. We are all one people. And it's very clear that this star is no respecter of persons. We have as much right to live here as bacteria, under the way the rules are here. So, for me, that's a big component, but there's one more thing to consider. Is there any evidence to show that our narrative is common, regardless of race, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of creed or culture? Is there a way to demonstrate to you visually, throughout the ages, that we share a common narrative? And I submit to you there is. And in fact, I've put together a video for you at the tail end of this as an illustration of the Saturn Key. The greatest key of all is setting aside your ethnocentric perspective and abandoning a need of the ego to establish itself physically under conditions of your appearance, your superficial appearance. Recognize, folks, that it is not how we look or looked that is of any importance to our ancestors. The only thing that is of importance to them is the same thing that has been important to us. What did they say? What did they do? What did they believe? How did they live? How did they conduct themselves with each other and with the world around them? To me, those are the compelling, interesting ideas, the things that you should be pursuing, because that is how you turn your heart to your fathers. And they are our fathers. I am as much their son as anyone else because they have created me, and within me a deep and abiding love and appreciation for these concepts and principles which are millennia old. So, with that said, let's take a look at a singular symbol, the Shotkana, or the Star of David, or the hexagram, and let's track it backwards through the ages and see if in fact there is an object, an astrotheological object in the heavens that might be pointing us to an origin point, a different star, with a different story, consistent with the mythological record of our being captured by this new star, and this star finally reconciling all of the disruption, being crucified between the equinox and the solstice, and 4 constellations which are fixed relative to its position, and stabilizing us in a place that is safe, where we can conduct ourselves however we want, without any kind of celestial disruption whatsoever. That's the promise, and that is the story that is actually told as a component of the singular symbol, which I'm going to share with you. So that's our collective ancestry, and as soon as you embrace that idea, the sooner you'll have more material and more perspectives and more language with which to express yourself. Because I certainly wouldn't restrict anybody from embracing the Nordic gods, which is my immediate ancestry, right? The Germanic and Nordic people. So that's my immediate ancestry. But my spiritual ancestry, the ancestry of the essence of my being, of your being, of our being, that has no face, that has no race or complexion or color. It's beautiful. And it's something to think about. And definitely something to contemplate in your deepest meditations, while you perhaps review this wonderful slideshow and the awesome music that goes with it. All right, enough of me. Take a look at this, and I'll be talking to you soon. My name is Aubrey Forrest, and I'm the Modern Alchemist, and this is Elements of the Saturn Key.
destination within any three-dimensional space, you need 6 points to determine the exact location.
You said you needed 7 points.
Well, no, 6 for the destination. But to chart a course, you need a point of origin.
In 2007, modern imaging technology revealed something else on Saturn that astounded scientists.
We see it very, very intensely now.
It's something big, something strange, and something never seen in the universe before. Saturn, the solar system's most bizarre yet beautiful planet, has just gotten even more mysterious. In 1979, the Voyager spacecraft showed a perfect geometric form over the North Pole. In October 2006, the Cassini craft found that it is still there.
It's just bizarre, and it sits there kind of still. It doesn't move with the planet. The pole, there's a hexagonal feature, a 6-sided polygon that encircles the pole at about 78 degrees north latitude. And it's sitting there as a set feature.
The hexagon is similar to Earth's polar vortex, which has winds blowing in a circular fashion around the pole. Saturn's vortex can fit 4 Earths inside of it and extends 60 miles deep into Saturn's clouds.
And what's more bizarre, Voyager saw little tiny clouds going around at about 100 meters per second, which is about 200 miles an hour, going around this racetrack. People thought, well, maybe it's just a temporary thing. How could this stay there? It's been there now for at least 20 years.